Greetings and salutations, and how you doing? Welcome to Making Sales Social Live. I'm Bob Woods, and with me today is the LinkedIn Whisperer. I'm trying to figure out if there's words in other languages for whisperer. I may start calling you those, Brynne. Brynne Tillman is with us as well.
Hi, Bob. Yeah, I don't know whisperer in any other language, but that could be fun.
Yeah, it could be a lot of fun, definitely.
And while you're at it, let's check out LinkedIn Sherpa in other languages.
Sherpa, yeah, that's a good. I never even thought of that. Yeah, that's a good point too. Welcome to Making Sales Social Live, as we share LinkedIn and social selling training, strategies, and tips that will have an immediate impact on your business. Join Brynne Tillman and me, Bob Woods, every week. Making Sales Social Live. So let's get right into it with a hot button topic. It's always a hot button topic in sales, and that's cold calling. Generally speaking, sales pros either like it or hate it. I mean, some people are in the middle, obviously. That's why I said generally speaking. For the ones who like it and have great success with it, more power to you. For those who don't, though, we have a highly professional and effective way where you actually get permission to sell directly to your prospects. Hopefully at this point you're going, I wonder what that is. It's called permission-based selling, and it takes the pushy salesy elements entirely out of the top of the funnel acquisition process so you can start more sales conversations, not only more easily, but at a much higher level. And if you like cold calling or see success from it, you can still use permission-based selling along your current outbound efforts. So everyone could use it. And that's one of the reasons why we love it. And we know this works because we have the receipts. Let's talk a little bit about the study we recently did on permission-based selling, Brynne.
Yeah, thanks, Bob. Well, first, let's say we should really be looking at permission-based selling as permission-based conversations versus we're not actually asking people, do you want to buy? That is not permission-based. Permission-based means that at every single step of the process, we're asking permission to go to the next step. When it starts all the way back with connecting on LinkedIn with, and we'll go into details on all of this, to sharing insights and content, that's all permission-based sales process, even though I just want to be clear, it's not permission to sell them. It's just part of the top of the funnel process. So years ago, and in my first couple books, we talked a lot about when you connect with someone, sending them a welcome message, a new connection. And in this welcome message, we're going to give them great value. We're going to give them links to content, and they're going to love us because it's free resources that can revolutionize the way they do business. And we thought this was awesome, right? Because people were clicking. And then we got called to the table by Andy Foote about 3 years ago, 3 years ago, maybe, where he said, that's spam. It's just spam. We're like, it's not spam. People love it. They're opting in. And then we took a look at it and said, well, how would we do this better? And better is, instead of sending the link, asking permission or asking if they're interested in the link. So we did a test. We did 100 with our traditional way of sharing the link. And out of 100, and we did this actually in Smart Links, which is a LinkedIn Sales Navigator feature. So we could track who's looking at this, who's downloading, who's engaging. So we sent the link to 100 people. Nice to be connected with you on LinkedIn. Here's a free gift. And 19 clicked through. And we were like, ooh, let's have a party. 19 out of 100. I mean, that's amazing. And then we did the next 100 with permission-based. Thanks for connecting with me on LinkedIn. I'm not sure if you're exploring ways to do X, Y, and Z, but if you are, let me know. I'd be happy to send you over some free resources. 69 out of the 100 said yes, please. And of those 69, 58 clicked through. So the first 100, we were all excited with 19. But when we moved to permission-based, ultimately, we ended up with 58 people actually clicking through. So we're going to talk about all kinds of things. And Bob, you're going to prompt it. But before we jump into that, and we've got some comments coming in. The question was, can we send permission-based for the first time? So let's talk about, Bob, I'll let you lead this. What's the first thing we're going to talk about? And then we'll ultimately answer that question.
Yeah. So this question actually gets into the mindset that you need to have for this permission-based way of increasing the number of people who want to talk to you into the top of your funnel. Absolutely. So part of that is to not immediately lead with your solution without anything behind it, because even though your mindset may not be to be that cold caller, you're essentially cold calling on LinkedIn when you do that, because you haven't even established if there's a true need or anything like that, and it's just seen as spam.
So let's start with the mindset.
Yep.
So we need to get in the mindset of detaching from what that prospect is worth to us and attaching to what we are worth to them. So to Bob's point, we need to bring value first. There's lots of places that we can bring value, from our profile to the content that we're sharing, right? There's lots of areas where we can show up with value. We can also show up with value by engaging on their content, because that's valuable to them. So going in and engaging on their content. So now you are on their radar. One of the questions we have here is, are there any good templates for permission-based? And there are lots of places for permission-based, but let's start with, we've engaged and now we want to connect with someone. So we like their content. We've engaged on maybe a comment that they made, someone else's content. We've visited their profile. We're following them, right? So they've got a notification that we followed them. So we've warmed it up a little bit. And now we're going to connect. But the connection request would be in a note. So Bob, I really enjoyed the post that you shared last week on topic. I'd love to connect with you and continue to follow. Permission-based. I invite you to visit my profile, and if you think it makes sense, let's connect. So I've moved it from connect with me to permission-based. If you think it makes sense, let's connect, right? And it takes the walls down of spam. Like all of a sudden it's like, wow, I mattered. They engaged on my content. They connected with me based on that, right? There are lots of different ways to connect, but if that's the concept, so asking for the templates, right? That's the first place to go. And actually, we have templates in a Chrome application called getmagical.com. If you're interested in those, you can visit socialsaleslink.com/magical, and you can download 17 of our templates. So enjoy those.
Those are all very good and highly customizable too. You don't have to use the
exactly.
And there are places where you can insert names and industries and companies and all that stuff too. So, but as you go through those templates, I think you'll catch up on the mindset behind everything that we're talking about here directly in those templates.
Yeah. So just to finish up mindset, then we'll go to the next piece. Ultimately, when we are asking permission, right, to do something, they feel in control. They feel less spammed. They're much more open to the communication because we're not pushing anything. That's without being salesy. And even now, just I'll go to the welcome message, right? Now they connect. They accepted the connection request. Now we connect, and I might say something like, thank you very much for joining my LinkedIn community. I'm not sure if you're exploring ways to leverage LinkedIn for social selling, but if you are, we've got some free resources. Let me know if you're interested. I'm happy to send you a link. Now, I used to send the link, but now we're asking permission, and most come back. And every once in a while, by the way, I get no thank you, and that's fine too. But most of the time they'll come back and say, yes, sure. Now I did a few things with that permission based. One, I made them feel safe, that I'm not spamming. I'm not just sending links. I created FOMO, fear of missing out. If I sent the link, they always have the link. They can always go back to that link. But if they don't say yes, they don't have the link, right? So if they have any interest at all, they're going to say yes. And we now start a two-way conversation. Even if it's short or yes, one-word answer, we are in a two-way conversation now, just not a push one way. Oh my gosh, how fun is this?
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
what's
right.
next, Bob?
The tactics, which we've
Well, I
kind of
think we
addressed
kind of
already.
did that. We
Yeah,
jumped
yeah, we
ahead.
did. So, I mean, probably the best place to go for the tactics so that you could see what this is all about is socialsaleslink.com/magical. You would need to download the magical app or not. It's not an app.
Chrome
It's a
extension.
yeah, Chrome extension. I couldn't think of that word. Thank you. So, what this is an auto text type of thing where you type a code in and then it will put pre-formatted text into a message. So it's not automation. I'm going to get to automation in a minute. It's not automation, but you can see through these messages exactly what we're talking about when it comes to the tactics. It's hopefully you'll be able to see that, and that'll also put you into more of the mindset about permission based, about not being salesy, about not spamming, because we are definitely not about anything like that at all.
Yeah. So what's next? What's our next topic?
So I do have a note because this comes up a lot, and that has to do with automation. And people may be listening to this and going, I could put this into my X product and just let automation handle it. Automation is always and forever a bad idea. You might get away with it for a while, but I would bet you really, really good money that you will eventually be found out by not only the prospect, because the prospects can sniff out really quickly when a message is genuine or a message is not. And just as importantly, and maybe even more importantly, you'll get outright banned from LinkedIn because
Mhm.
LinkedIn is as vigilant as ever about sniffing out automation and shutting down
Mhm.
accounts of people who actually use automation. So it's
Yeah.
always, always, always a bad idea.
It breaks the user agreement actually,
Yeah, it breaks the user
8.2.2.
base. Exactly. The one thing you have to keep in mind if you're tempted by the magic, I shouldn't say magical automation because magical is not automation, but if correct permission-based sales, it's highly targeted and it requires a much more thoughtful, considered approach to each prospect. You
Mhm.
cannot handle every single situation possible that may come from a message that's coming in
Yeah.
with automation. It's just
In
you can't do it.
including engaging on their
Yeah.
content and their activity, right?
Yes,
You can't.
exactly.
Right. And then mentioning that activity in your connection request. So,
Yep.
because there's the piece that goes along with what you're saying is the authenticity, right?
Yep.
Right. So when we reach out and you say, I really enjoyed the content you shared on topic, there's no way that automation could ever get that personal. And this is about building rapport, credibility, and trust. And the only way we can do that is when we tailor this to every single engagement. So love
Yep.
that. I think we are just coming up on our time now,
We
Bob.
are? Oh, I had one more that I'm gonna sneak in really, really, really
Oh,
quick. So it's
cool.
a best practice to, um, approach prospects once you have established credibility and influence in your sector or marketplace. So to do this, you need to be highly visible on LinkedIn. You need to be engaging with other people's content and everything else that we've just mentioned, as well as just posting your own great content, because that also gives you credibility and it also gives you social proof that you are in fact the expert that you say you are, and the person that you're reaching out to will hopefully discover this and want to have that conversation with you.
Yeah, I love that. All right, so let's
I
bring
think
this
we're
in for a
done. Oh my
landing. The
god.
bottom line, guys, at when all is said and done, do not spam.
Mhm.
Think about permission based as a mindset as you're going out and you're engaging, and that no one ever feels like you are on track to make them a lead, that your goal is to sell them something. It's about building rapport, bringing value through permission, and the sale will come when the time is right. I am Brynne Tillman, and this is Bob Woods with Social Sales Link. You could go to socialsaleslink.com. And if you are looking for our templates, you could go to socialsaleslink.com/magical. And if you are looking for more resources, you can join our free membership at linkedinlibrary.com.
And then the other thing is, speaking of contact information, if you want to contact with us directly, or connect, I should say, with us directly, just go. We're both very, very, very easy to find on LinkedIn. Just go ahead and send us a connection request. Just make sure that you mentioned this podcast episode. We appreciate it. And all will be golden, as they say.
All right, let's take it in for a landing, Bob.
We're gonna take this home now. Thanks again for joining us on Making Sales Social Live. If you're with us live here on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, or Twitter right now, because we do go to those other channels. We do this every week, so keep an eye out for our live sessions. If you're listening to us recorded on our podcast and wondering, why can't I talk with these people? It's because it's recorded. And you haven't subscribed already, go ahead and hit that subscribe or follow button or whatever it is on whatever platform you're listening to access all of our previous shows and be alerted when new ones drop. If you want more information on the podcast, go to socialsaleslink.com/podcast. Again, really easy, socialsaleslink.com/podcast. We actually do 2 shows weekly, this one and our Making Sales Social interview series, where we talk with leaders and experts in sales, marketing, business, and many more areas. So we want to leave you this. When you're out and about, be sure to make your sales
social. Bye,
Thanks,
guys.
everyone. Bye-bye.
Hit subscribe now and click the notification bell to get the latest videos from Social Sales Link. Give this video a like and comment down below. Register for free resources at linkedinlibrary.com.